Alright YouTube, gonna hit you up with another one here. Looking at my sneaker wall, my CD wall. It's a 1,000 CD shelf, got it almost full. And my sneaker wall here is holding about 112 pairs, I believe. Kind of lost track, but I think it's right around there. 110, 112. I'm gonna be grabbing a couple pairs of new pickups and one that was a little, well actually they're all new to YouTube, they're just not all new to me, but it's a string of pairs here, all with different boxes. Obviously one from the 90s, one from modern times, and one from a few years back. So let me grab these. Alrighty, so here we go. Thanks for your patience. Just shot a video on those 12s. I want to show off a little bit of what we got going here. Minus the popcorn ceiling. Gotta love 70s houses. So one of these is a project pair. You probably wouldn't guess which one. One of these is dead stock. One of these is VNDS, in my humble opinion. So we'll start off with the DS pair. Yes, it happens to be these. Never had a foot in them. These are actually 98 retros, believe it or not. The 95s came in a different box. These are very old, but they're actually a year newer than the 12s that they're sitting next to. Still have the arch supports completely unwrapped, never been opened. Little Nike stamps in the bottom of the box. Even the box is really pretty minty on these. The good old Air Max SC. And you'll notice they no longer kept saying that after a while, because they're Air Max 95s to the modern world. These massive air bubbles. These things are huge. I've actually defogged these. Are already fogging up again. Unfortunately, they do have cracks. You can see one right there. And there is separation above the airbag, and so I'm not able to wear these. In my opinion, they're not really worth taking the time to midsole swap, because they're never going to look like this again. They're just so pristine. The yellow actually yellowed because of the tissue paper. It got darker, just like white turns yellow over time. It is not a factory defect or anything weird. You can even see some of the neon parts up underneath. You kind of get a little bit of a glow there, depending on where it's at. But even the 3M feels different. It's like really soft. It's kind of bizarre. Tongues are not as thick as the other ones, but the terry cloth inside is super plush. I mean, it feels just like suede. And you can see the good old insoles in there. In fact, one of these wasn't even laced when I got this shoe. It was only laced through this bottom loop, and it was sitting there off to the side, but I went ahead and laced them up. Give you a look at the other side, the back, and they are a gorgeous piece of shoe. But you probably wouldn't believe this if I told you, but I swear to you, I only paid $30 for these. $30 was it. They are cool gray. Yeah, formal colors on these are cool gray, neon yellow, and white. We now jump to the project pair. Just so you have a quick showing. Natural gray, neon yellow, and dark charcoal. So they did actually change the colors on these. They don't look the same. They're very similar. These are kind of beat. Funny enough, the arch supports have never been used. The box is in pristine condition for a pair that's coming up on 8 years old. Seeing those side by side, you can tell how much these have yellowed, just amazingly enough from the tissue paper is all. But tongues stand a little different. They're a little thicker, especially here underneath the logo. Compared to these, it's just not quite as thick. It's kind of interesting that changed. Does have the terry cloth, just not nearly as soft. I doubt that's because they're used. It's probably just because the material is different. It's just not as soft as these. I do have the history of air insoles in these. So you got the evolution of the Air Max with the 1 starting off there. And just so you can check the tag, these are from '05. Now these are quite a project. These came to me in worse condition than I expected. Fortunately I didn't pay much for them, but I did pay double what I paid for these dead stock pairs, which is kind of mind-blowing. But they do have all original parts and pieces. The air bubbles, as you can see, are just night and day different. They're nothing like what they have from the 90s. Let me grab one that goes side by side. Check this out. Don't know if you've seen a comparison video, but there's a big difference in what they do with air today versus what they used to do. It's unfortunate that it's shrunk so much, but they also did increase the thickness between the air, as you can see on that heel portion there, right here versus right here. It's gotten a little wider across, quite a bit actually. I'd say almost twice the width. Pretty amazing. So, unfortunately, they don't make them like they used to, but this is, pretty close second. I believe this was the most recent retro after these. I'm pretty sure it was 95, 98, and '05. These ones, I will be using some of the products behind to clean up the white portion, which a lot of this is kind of like more of a lint. I'll probably start off using just a Lincoln Easy Suede cleaner on that and seeing how it takes care of it. I may even use this first, just because it's cheap and easy to spray on and kind of scrub out. Then after it is damp but has any soaps removed, I'll go ahead and use this whitener and brightener, probably on the inside of the collars, to get those hopefully looking somewhere closer to that instead of the gray dinginess that they're at now. Should definitely use it on the tongue as well. Again, kind of gray and dingy. But, they're intact. They're definitely a little worn, but they are nice to have around. They have some stains. Those will definitely be something I'll hit with the foam spray first. The Lincoln Easy Suede will be used on all the parts of the upper up here, and probably some of the mesh and the toe, and just anything to make them look cleaner and fresher. They just look kind of napped out and kind of dingy, even though they're not like trash dirty. But and then the eye stays are actually quite dirty as well, and hopefully those will clean out. I may actually use a magic eraser on those, just because that type of nylon's a little more abrasive, and so, or a little more ability to take abrasion, and so I should be able to get into those. Not like going to town on them, but I usually like to try that first and to kind of see how it works, and then let the cleaners do the rest of the work for anything else. So there's that pair. Let's get these situated real quick. And there's probably not a lot of guys out there that can do this, but never thought I'd be one of them. But I do have yet a third pair, and these are the B&DS 2010s, which I believe are state stamped 2009. So 5 years later, they retroed them yet again. Big surprise. Really darkened the toe boxes, almost black. It's really hard to call that charcoal. I guess in theory it is, but I should put them in order here so you can see our own evolution of air. SC 295 Classic to 95. So here's what we're looking at. As you can see, the gray looks a little dirty on these. It's more similar to the gray over here. These look a little more dirty. And this just gets really dark. It's just almost black. The neon's about the same. Funny enough, these actually say cool gray and neon yellow. Very similar to these over here, cool gray, neon yellow, and they just obviously add the white. But in theory, these are more authentic to the original in terms of colorways, yet when you hold them side by side, the color is significantly darker. And for something that was sitting in tissue paper all those years, if anything, this should have darkened if it was impacted by the tissue at all, the acidity in the tissue paper. But for whatever weird reason, the cool gray is obviously in that second strand here, much like it is here. It's about the same color. But the toe guard and the bottom row there are really a black. I don't know what else to call it. Maybe you could call it anthracite, if you know your gray tones. But these are pretty much VNDS. They changed the